of the faith. They are defenders of Catholicism and nothing else. Inside you will find these rituals. Some of these are diabolical sexual rituals that they have in these meetings that you will not believe. I will not talk about them because some things are better unsaid. Inside these lodges you have all these pagan symbols. You have the 3 candles, the 3 aspects, and of course the great music of the world as well. From the science, many of our most significant emblems are borrowed. The lodge itself is representative of the world. It is adorned with the images of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. Those brethren who delight to trace our emblems to an astronomical origin find in the compass a symbol of the sun, the circular pivot representing the body of the luminary, and the diverging legs its rays. Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. Hardly any of the symbols of Freemasonry are more important in their significance or more extensive in their application than the sun. The sun too, as the regenerator or reviver of all things, is the phallic worship which made a prominent part of the mysteries. Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. I'm not quoting some funny source here. This is theirs. This is their symbol. The Zeiss was a circular and concave pedestal or receptacle in which the phallus or column rested. Remember that concave pedestal that the Roman Catholic Church uses? Now if you put a stick in the middle, then you have a boat with a half moon. And that was the old ships of the Vikings. And they conquered in the name of the sun god. The union of these two as a generative and reproducing principle of nature in one compound figure was the most usual mode of representation. Here we find the origin of the point within a circle. A symbol which was first adopted by the old sun worshippers. They tell you by themselves. Now if the great star world out there is controlled by Freemasonry and controlled by these, then the poor women who work in them become nothing better than sex slaves. That's why they propagate sexuality over and over and over again. You switch on your television, every second thing has a warped connotation. There are 2 things that Satan hates, and that is those things that was blessed in Genesis. He hates the relationship, the loving, caring relationship between a man and a woman, because God blessed them and told them to multiply, and he hates the Sabbath. Those 2. He will pervert them both. The all-seeing eye, an important symbol of the Supreme Being, borrowed by the Freemasons from the nations of antiquity, and the same principle the Egyptians represented Osiris, their chief deity. So if you have it on your dollar and Freemasonry put it there, they know why it's there. It's got nothing to do with God, it's Lucifer. All these symbols, every single one of them has a sexual and a hidden meaning. And the symbol of the United Nation is the symbol of the devil. And the rulers in the United Nations, most of them are 33-degree Freemasons. They're Lucifer worshippers, they're devil worshippers. That's what they are. The devil controls the world. Baal. Whenever the Israelites made one of their almost periodical deflections to idolatry, Baal seems to have been their favorite idol. This is Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. Entire Baal was the sun, Ashtoreth the moon. They know what it was. In brief, Baal seems to have been, wherever this cult was active, a development of the old sun worship. They know. So when they show their symbols, look at this Masonic picture of their deity up there and their Masonic hand signals over there. And what are they standing on? The Tower of Babel. Now, God of death, the cube, all of these Masonic things, every single one of these, the little fir tree or the little pine tree, all of them. Osiris represented the sun, Isis the moon, but the truth is that Osiris represented the male active or regenerative powers of nature, while Isis represented its female passive or prolific powers. The Druids of Britain and Gaul had a deep knowledge concerning the mysteries of Isis and worshipped her under the symbol of the moon. Now the Druids are alive and living and well, and the kings and queens of Britain and the lords and all those wonderful people are Druids, because they're all the Masons. They are all the Masons, and they're all high up. And Prince Charles can pretend as much as he like, and his little lady, whose name was Diana, is worshipped as a goddess now. Isn't that wonderful? The Druids considered the sun to be the father and the moon the mother of all things, secret teachings of all ages. Now, if somebody is not yet convinced, let me take you to the entrance of the Masonic temple in London. There it is. There are the twin pillars. They're enormous. And the giant doors. There's this interesting little statue on the top over there. And the twin pillars inside. As you enter the doorway, you have the pentagram with the pentagon, which is a symbol of witchcraft. The fact that it's on your flag doesn't make it a nice little star. It makes it a symbol of witchcraft because it was put there by high Freemasons. The colors of your flag are the colors of witchcraft. So, in we go into this interesting temple. The Freemasons of the United States have, by tacit consent, referred to it, the pentagram, as a symbol of the 5 points of fellowship. The outlines of the 5 points are the same as those of the Pentaphyla of Pythagoras. It's occultism. Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. They should know, they put it there. In the science of magic, the Pentaphyla is called the holy and mysterious pentagram, the pentagram in the star of the magicians. By virtue of the number 5, it has great command over evil spirits because of its 5 double triangles and its 5 acute angles within its 5 obtuse angles without, so that this interior pentacle contains in it many great mysteries. So, we might all walk around like human herds carrying a star. Oh, it's a star, it's a star, when it's really something else. And they're laughing at us. Oh, will you look at that? Isn't that fascinating? Do you remember that symbol? Oh, let's make it a little bit bigger. Do you remember it? Where did we see it? Right in the beginning of this lecture. In the Roman Catholic Church. Well, you have a super company. What's it called? Chev. Oh, I knew what it was called. I just wasn't going to say it. That uses that symbol as well. And there you have an Ark of the Covenant with covering cherubs. The only thing is that this Ark of the Covenant is the counterfeit one. It is the devil's. Because the devil is counterfeiting everything in heaven because he wants to be another god. How do I prove it? Look at his covering cherubs. Look at their feet. What do you see? It's the feet of the goat. And if that's not the devil, then my name is not Walter Fight. It's something else. Devil worship. And Albert Pike said, all the symbols are there. You come and have a look for yourself. And if you look and really search, you will find out what they mean. Now really, you don't have to be a genius to know that this is satanic worship. And Masonry rules the world. The Bible says in Ephesians 5:8-14, for you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for the fruit of light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, and find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. I want nothing to do with Freemasonry. I want nothing to do with their evil plans. But God says, expose them. I hope I have done that tonight. And I hope that people will see where we're heading. Because now tonight, I've laid the groundwork. I've given as much evidence as is humanly possible to show you that this organization is demonic. And that it has one aim, and that is to eliminate Jesus Christ and his followers off the face of the earth and the heavens. In fact, the entire NASA is run by high Freemasons. If you want to be a really first-grade astronaut, you better become a 33-degree Freemason. Colonel Glenn, Buzz Aldrin, all of them, 33-degree Freemason. The heads. If you don't believe me, go to the lodge, look at them. The pictures are all there. The heads and the founders and the leaders of NASA are Freemasons, high ones, over 30 degrees. Do you think they're practicing a real Star Wars? Do you think they might be so egotistical that they think they can blow Jesus Christ out of the skies when he returns? I have news for them. He'll just go, and they'll be gone. Find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. I showed you where they do it. I hinted as to what they do, but I didn't tell you explicitly what they do. I read some of their quotes. They're sick enough. What they do is 10 million times worse. What they do is 10 million times worse. How many little children disappear in this world? Enough said. But everything exposed by light becomes visible, for it is light that makes everything visible. A lodge doesn't have any windows. They don't like light. But Jesus says, come out of her, my people. Now in the next lectures, we're going to look at what we learned tonight, and we're going to see its fulfillment. Now we're going into the nitty-gritty of history and our time, and we will see where we stand, and who does what, and to whom. And what you see on the news is what you are supposed to see as a human herd on the news. We will interpret the news in the light of the Bible, and let the Bible and Freemasonry, by its own admission, tell us what's going on in the world. And we will see that at the end, there will be two forces left. Only two. And it is our choice which one we belong to. The one group will worship the beast and its image, and the other group will keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. Every other aspect of society, including the very food you eat, is controlled by them. Be careful what you eat. Be careful what you put in your mouth. Be careful of the ingredients that the mega companies put into the food for the human herds. Am I being understood here? Be careful what you do. Be careful how you live. Fortunately, we have a kind and generous God who told us everything in advance so that none of us needs to fall into the trap. And we have a God who is all-powerful and almighty and can blow the wicked one away with the brightness of his coming. We have nothing to fear. Do not fear those who can harm the body. Rather fear him who will flatten this planet very shortly. And I don't mean fear in the term of buckling knees. I look forward to the coming of the Lord. I cannot wait for him to come. It is the most wonderful idea that the suffering and the death and the secrets and the mysticism and the rubbish that these diabolical people think up be swept away. The sooner the better. Please don't miss the next lectures, because really they're not really there to make you afraid or anything like that, but to give you a sense of the times we are living in and the nearness of the coming of the Lord, so that you can develop an urgency within your own hearts to come right with the Lord and to warn others. That's it. This is not sensation seeking. This is plain, straightforward. That's how it is. And the fact that it is like that shows us that it's the truth, because the Bible said it was going to be like that. So don't miss the next lectures. May the Lord be with you and take care of you until we meet again. Amen.